Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Backstick podcast. I'm Jamil Roberts, and I'm joined here as usual by Dom Okus. Dom, how are you, pal?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm super excited for this episode. Obviously, before this, we've just been chatting to our guest, so you're introduced in a second, but the energy's been incredible already, so I know this is going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm. And listen, if you haven't heard him, you've heard of him. If you've been around USL for any of the last 4, 5, 6 years. So, introducing Mr. Christian Chaney. Chaney, how are you, mate?
Yo, what's up, my guys? What's up, my guys? What an honor. What an honor to be here. The Backstick, my favorite.
Yes, sir. We're taking over the game, we are. We're taking over the game. How's the off-season started, bro?
It's good. It's good. Off-season's been pretty well. It's always hard, after the season ends the way it does. So you need a little bit to take a break and, just kind of reflect, relax, let the mind wander a bit. But it's been good. It's been good. A lot of travel.
And you're, as we were just chatting here before the show, you mentioned that you're in Virginia right now. You're close to Dom's old neck of the woods in DC. So if you didn't know, Dom is actually a DJ. So if you need any recommendations of where to go this weekend, Mr. Dom Okus, take it away.
Yeah, I got you, bro. There's a few. It depends. What kind of music are you into?
Well, it depends, I'm a little bit more of a slow-paced man now. I'm a little bit older now, so the nightlife's not really my thing as much. But if I were to go out, I would say, where would you recommend I go in DC? How about that? Where would you recommend? Like, let's say I like a mix of things though, because my Latin background, I like some reggaeton. I love a good R&B. That's who I am. I'm old school, raised by my mama. So
I feel you.
what do you recommend, bro?
Yeah, so if you're on a little more of like a grown vibe, then I'd recommend a place called the Park at 14.
The Park at 14.
Vibe. Yeah, dope vibe, good music. People dress nice. It's a nice little vibe. If you're looking for a little bit more of everything, then I go to a place called Decades. It's got like 3 different floors of different types of music. So you'll catch some Latin music in there. You'll catch some hip hop, some R&B. You'll catch some house. So a good little vibe. So those would be my 2 recommendations.
Decades. That sounds like a vibe.
Yeah, Decades, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say 3 stories.
You got a big smile on your face when you said Decades, bro. Is that still something?
He's flipping the questions already back on you.
Do you know what it is, yeah? Do you know what it is, Wes? I got some stories in Decades, but I can't say them on the pod right now because, this is about you, my bro. This is all about you.
Fact. Well, maybe that's the future. That's the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Come and question you a little bit.
There we go.
Exactly.
We'll bring him back for the Dom Okus episode. Presented by Christian Chaney.
Hey.
Exactly. Facts.
Oh, that's funny. Well, going from that, listen, as I said before, he's a larger than life personality around USL League One and the USL in general. So I remember I first came across you when you were in at Fuego. That would have been 2022. And my first impressions was I honestly didn't know who you were going into the game. I didn't really know many players in the league. It was my first year in League One. And I just remember seeing this absolute fuck-off unit up top. And just coming off and the centre half's going, yeah, he's a handful. Jeez. But aside from that, that's pretty much, how would you kind of sum up you as a player, mate? Because playing against you, that's what we think. You're a handful. You're a lot to deal with, but you get in the right place at the right time. You score goals. Is that what you kind of say about yourself?
Yeah, I like to sound a little more diverse, though. A lot of people think of the post-up 9, just lay the ball off, get in the box type of guy. I don't know, man.
I'm not saying you're not techie, my boy. I'm not saying you're not techie.
I would describe my game as that, in and around the box, natural, like just instinct. I can't even tell you how many times I hit the net without even knowing where the ball was going. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, just one of those things that I picked up at a young age. But yeah, I would say that's my, a little Drogba ish,
It's funny you said that. I just unmuted to say, who do you think you play like? and you said
Uh,
Drogba. That's a shout. That's a
I
shout.
mean, that's so I'll give you a story real quick. So when I was
Let's
younger,
do it.
I was like, I like to say, you guys know Derek. If you guys are around the league, you know Derek Gebhardt, number 17
Yeah,
from my
yeah, yeah.
team. Like
Mr. Madison.
yeah, no, he's old Mr. Madison. Someone else took over, but no, but that's one of like my best friends, bro. One of my brothers, and I used to tell him, bro, like when I first signed with Sac Republic, I was like 180, skinny, like running behind, like quick type of player, you know. And then when I got there, my head coach at the time was Paul Buckle. He's now I think GM for like Hartford or whatever. He turned me into like this post up nine, like Drogba was there at the time. Carlton Cole was there with us after Drogba had left. So like he's trying to like image me after them, you know, and I became this, you know,
Oh,
get
okay.
it, lay it off, play, get in the box type of player, you know, and it took me a long time. I didn't play a lot because
Bit more of a back to goal kind of striker.
it took me a while to adjust to back to goal, to having to check my shoulder and, you know, stuff like that. So
Do
it
you
took a
think
while, but
do you think that paid off in the long run for you, obviously? Or like do you sort of what did you prefer, I guess?
I mean, I prefer goals, man. I don't care how they come. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Fair enough.
But it's at that level, you know, it's like not speaking down on League One, but even at championship level, I think it's a little bit different of a jump to where it's like you have a job that you have to do, you know, where it's like you got to trust that the players next to you are going to get you that ball because they're going to do their job. And you have, you know, the manager, obviously, he wants to see what he wants and you have to do what he does or you're not going to play the next man to the give chance, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to, you know, I had to adjust my game and adjust my physicality. So I had to put on weight, gain muscle, you know what I mean? Learn how
Yeah,
to
yeah.
let the ball stick, you know, stuff like that. So it was definitely a change. And I had a lot of players around me, obviously, the best of the best that could help me, you know what I mean? Like I worked with, like,
Absolutely,
you
man.
know, like Drogba was there. I worked with Carlton Cole, like a lot. Me and Coley were really good friends at the time. Um, there's players like Samuel Choa, you know what I mean? I've had players like Juan Cafa, Robert Earnshaw was my assistant coach at Fresno. You know what I mean? Like, so obviously through all of them, I was just a sponge, you know, trying to just be as good as I can, learn from them. And, you know, when you're at that level, when they come from where they came from, you just shut the hell up. You know what I mean? You just fucking, you do what they say,
Exactly.
you know? So,
Yeah, you mentioned Carlton Cole there. So for those who don't know, I'm a West Ham fan, and
okay.
my brother grew up playing in the academy, and he always speaks very fondly of Carlton Cole as that someone who takes younger players under their wing and all of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
did you feel that when he was kind of working with you?
Yeah, bro. When he came in, it was, you know, like obviously towards the end of his career, he had just left, I think, Celtic, or I think he was playing in Scotland or can't remember where, but he had just came directly over to SAC, and we had him for the 2016 season, 2016, 17, something like that. I can't remember. But as soon as he came in, they sat him in the locker right across from me. So we have, you know how locker rooms are, but he was the one in front of me. He had two lockers, you know what I mean? The guy's 6'6", bro, and the big time player, so they didn't put nobody next to him. So he had the little spot next to him, and I'm directly in front of him. And just, you know, the personality that I am, I'm just, you know, I'm the guy that's like, everyone's like afraid to talk to him or whatnot. And I walk up to him and I say, damn, you can still run. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you sure you can still run? I said, you got to understand this thing. They make you run in this league. He goes, mate, I train once a week. I train once a week. Fuck all. Bro, I never, and
Oh,
I'd have in mind, I'm like the rookie kid. I'm the kid that's like not supposed to be saying anything to anybody. You know what I mean? In the locker room, picking up the gear after trainings and shit, you know, like, but for me to have done that to him, I think it kind of like let him know, okay, I like this
oh,
kid, you know?
100%, 100%. There's definitely a balance because we've all been the young kid in the changing
Oh, of
room, right?
course.
There's
Yeah.
definitely a balance between being a little shit and, you know, like letting them know that you've got a bit, not just on the pitch with like what you can do,
Yeah.
but you can contribute in other areas as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, and let's be real, because I know that there's probably people listening to this, my boys that were back around when I was 18, 19, 20, 21. I crossed the line more than a few times and got a few beatdowns because of it. So
Yeah, bro. But see, that's what's different too to this game, bro. Because like Coley would be like, "But shut the fuck up already," you know, like shut up, you know. And then in training on the field, he'd come and he'd hit me. And the one time he
Mm,
trained, he'd wait for it. He'd wait all week for it, bro. And then he'd be like, "Remember this on Monday?" Like, bro,
hmm
fucking that shit happened Monday, bro. You know, like But
Yeah, yeah.
nowadays that doesn't exist, in my opinion. Like I think
Nah,
the game's missing that. You know what I mean?
100% agree. We had Keziah on just now, and we had this conversation with him as well about how and it's funny that you say that about the American game, because our comment was that the way that kids are treated in England now in football growing up are so different. So it's interesting to see how you think it's the exact same in the American game as well.
Oh, exactly. I mean, like I said, I also grew up like when I don't know how old you guys are. I'm 30 now, you know. So like when I was playing, I played in Mexico as well, and in Mexico it was big over there. Like, bro, they shaving heads, bro. I had my head shaved. Like, you ever see me bald? Nah, bro. Nah, nah. They're
We gotta
shaving
get a picture
heads.
of that. We gotta
Yeah,
get a picture of that.
bro, you look on Facebook, you'll find a couple, bro.
Hey, you're asking me to clip this up in a reel, my boy.
Hey, don't even, hey, understand. I don't get embarrassed too often, bro. It's alright. Love to hate me. It's alright. But no, that's what I'm saying. And then, bro, like it was different. It was hard. It was rough. It was rugged. If you're a player that's young coming through and you trying to dribble and meg someone, you're getting clapped, bro. Like you know what I mean? You're taking too many touches, you're getting
Yeah,
clapped, and then you got to go pick up all the balls after training after you're angry and mad and this and that. Now, bro, it's different. The game was different.
yeah,
But
100%. Maybe
even though
that's
I didn't grow
some
up,
grounding that kids are missing now.
it's different now, bro. I coach high school now, man. It's not the same, bro. It's not the same.
Coach Chaney, man. I'd love to see
Oh,
that.
bro, I'm a coach. I'm a coach at heart. I'm a coach at heart.
Nah, he's a man of the people. We know that.
Yeah.
And just kind of touching on that character once again. So we touched on a second ago how, you're a big personality and, someone that's not phased by certain, big players or big names necessarily in the changing room. So do you think that now you're a senior player in a changing room, that it takes a certain type of manager to sort of get the best out of you, to sort of allow that personality to come through on
Oh,
and off the pitch? Because I feel like you're someone that if you're restricted, you'll tell them like, leave me the fuck alone. Do you know what I mean? Like, is that
yeah,
how it is?
yeah. Of course, I mean, now that's definitely how it is, man. Because I mean, that's part of the reason why I chose Madison in the first place. You know, like coming from Fresno, it took a lot for me to leave my hometown. You know, and thinking about like the coaching staff and the way of the city and the people, like the first thing that he came to me and said, Matt Blazer, he was like, and I think personality wise, as far as like what you're saying, letting me be who I am, letting my personality come through, knowing the right medium to where, you get the best out of me, where you're gonna let me be me, but I'm not gonna fuck you off, I'm not gonna like take the piss with you, like it's a respect thing, and I think with him, it came down to that, and the reason why I was there for these last 2 seasons is because of that respect that he's shown and the willingness he was to let me, lead the way I lead, because everybody's different, you know what I mean? And I'm always I'm always the first person up when it's time to when it's time to play, you know what I mean? I'm always the first on the field, the last person to leave, kicking balls, having fun, it's always on the pitch. And I always want to win every game, whether we're down 2 goals or we have a red card, like I'm still gonna be upset. I'm still gonna want to win. So that's just who I am. And I think the fact that he lets me be that, but also lets me be, the jokester that I am, you know what I mean? I like to have the banter in the locker room. I like to take the piss with everybody here and there. But then when it's time to play, I play. I think like that does matter in my career at this point. In I don't know how many more years I have left in this game, but definitely the coach and the way that they manage their team is definitely a factor in my decision making now.
Yeah, 100%. And I think when you touched on Madison, not just as a the coaching staff and whatever, I definitely get the sense of when I go and play at Madison that they're so embracing of their own players, right? Like the fans are that it's always a packed house. Anytime you go to Madison, they seem to love you guys. It seems like an amazing place to play football. But I don't know, Dom, was you about to chime in there a second?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, when you talk about management style, has there been a time when the management style didn't work for you? Obviously, everyone can see we're kind of 15 minutes in, you've got a strong personality and you've got strong beliefs, which I think is a good thing. But I'm
Yeah.
sure there's some
Not enough
managers who didn't love
personalities
that.
left in the game, man.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm sure some managers didn't love that. So, like, has there been a time where your personalities clashed with a manager, and like, how do you deal with that?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, to this day, like there's, you know, you end up where you end up based on certain circumstances and careers, and you know what I mean. And the hardest part about now, like being the level where we're at, is not knowing. Like, for instance, if I leave Madison, or when I left Fresno, not knowing truly what the coach is going to be like, because there's a lot of new managers. There's a lot of managers that have been here, that have been there. You can't really get a good vibe on where how they are as a manager, how they are with players, because quite frankly, they don't stick around long enough in these leagues, you know. So it's like with us, they could go to the locker room and say, "Hey, coach, how was Chaney in the locker room? How was this? How was that?" You know. So in terms of me having those problems with coaches in the past, like it was always like, yeah, we're gonna respect you. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that for us. We want you to be our player. And you get there, and it's a whole another situation. You know what I mean? And that alone, just stepping into the game, just, you know, signing your first day there, just seeing how it's not the same, that could throw you off with the manager as well, you know. And I mean, like I said, managers have to manage everybody. You know, I've not always been the biggest player in the room. Like, I've almost always never been the biggest player in the room with the names that, you know, that I've had around and stuff. So it's always been me having to, like, kind of scratch my way to the top, you know, fight for what I had, trying to get the manager's attention, trying to figure out what I got to do to make him, you know, have that trust and faith in me. So even though we've had butted heads, like, I haven't always had the freedom to be the Chaney that you guys have known me to be the last few years. You know what I mean? I had to work my way to that. So, like, when I was in the champ before, it was always a little bit more different. It was always more like, you know, I have to pick and choose my moments. Whereas like now I'm just, you know, I'm me whenever I want to be. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
could be
yeah, this
good,
is
could be
me.
bad, but before, yeah, I definitely had managers where I had to, you know, I had to be a little bit different. You know, I had to lock it away for a little bit.
And do you feel like that affected your performance? Like, do you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like you're at your best when you can just fully be yourself?
Yeah, like I said, it also comes down to like you being confident. You know, you've been comfortable as a player who wants to be on the field uptight, thinking everything you do or whatever you do wrong, that's it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You want your manager to have faith in you, like, oh, he's gonna fuck up, okay, but when he gets it, it's gonna be working. You know, like
Yeah,
that's the confidence that I think each player wants. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, you don't. Not all 11 get that all the time. You know what I mean? Or not all 18 get that all the time. So
yeah. I think the player I see that with the most, that I think is unfortunate, is Pogba. I think he has a very unique personality. He's an amazing player, but
yeah,
he's not everyone's cup of tea with what he does on the pitch, from like the dancing, the basketball shooting sleeves,
hmm,
to the way he dresses, the dyeing of the hair. But if people just let him be Pogba, I think that's when you get the best Pogba. But when you
yeah,
criticize him and want to scrutinize him for every little thing that he does, it's going to affect the way he plays on the pitch.
I
Yeah,
agree, man.
I think that's something that people forget as well. You know, when you strip everything back and just hearing you sort of talking about it, at the end of the day, like, you can come off with this persona and this and that, and like at the end of the day, like, it's not a persona. Like, that is you, right? I'm not
Yeah,
saying that it's whatever. That is you. But what people don't understand is there's so much more that goes into scoring 15, 20 goals a season than just putting
yeah,
the shirt on and crossing the white line. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
people just, I think people are fooled sometimes into thinking that it's that simple. And in reality, what's your personal life like? What's your relationship like with the manager? Are you feeling comfortable in the changing room? Can you speak to
hmm,
this person? This person? Has this person got my back if I do this? If I say this? Do you know what I mean? There's so many things that go into then when you cross the white line and you look at the other 10 people on the pitch with you and the subs and everyone in the stands. If you're
exactly.
actually comfortable to perform to your best. And I
Yeah,
guess, you know, you talk when you sort of wrap that up and, you know, you would say you feel at home, right? Like, you feel at home at a club, you feel at home, whatever. And I want to kind of just transition that into when you actually were playing at home in Fresno, the spell that you had with Central Valley Fuego. So, you know, how did that move come about? Because you came from Nisa, right, before you went up to Fuego. So what was that like, being the hometown kid? Obviously, the first year. It was the first year of Fuego.
the first year returning with the name Fresno Fuego since they took it
Y-
away in
Yeah.
2018 or
hmm
19. Yeah, 18.
So
Yeah.
so what was that like? Obviously, being the hometown kid, the number 9, obviously taking that mantle on and trying to, you know, take the club, your hometown club, where you wanted it to go.
Yeah, well, coming into it, like it was like a blessing to me because I was at a tough point after COVID, and then COVID year when I was in Charlotte, I was left without a club. I was like, after COVID, nobody really wanted to offer new contracts. I couldn't go back overseas at the time, and things happened to where I was kind of like left without a club. So I was just like Sunday leaguing it. Ended up in Nisa only because Fuego had reached out to my agent, and he was like, "Hey, well, not even my agent, me. They reached out to me like personally because I knew almost everybody that was starting the club, and they said, "Hey, we're bringing Fuego back," and I'm like, "Nah, there's no way. Like how?" He's like, "Yeah, we're buying the right to the name because they had to buy the right to the name because the franchise is bought, so they bought it back." And they said, "But only you have to have some type of team if like we're gonna sign you as one of our first signings." I was like, "All right, well." That call happened like on a Wednesday. I was playing a Sunday league tournament on the weekend, and that same Sunday, I got a call. "Hey, I need you to come to LA. Like the Los Angeles Force wants you to play." So I ended up doing that all to end up what you're talking about, like with the Fuego jersey, bro. So it's like
Wow.
when I finally got that first game, I'm thinking, dang, I could get my career back. You know what I mean? I could do this for another 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Because I thought at that point I was done. At that point, I'm looking for a job. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. Because I don't know if you've ever been without a club. At the age I was at, it's a very not good feeling to have. It's like, holy, like, damn, what's going to happen now? Like, I didn't think it was going to end this soon. So when Fuego came and I finally put that jersey on, and the first game I started actually, my bad. So the first game was on the road in Greenville. I scored a brace. My first game of the game, my first year with Fuego, we beat Greenville 2-0. I scored both goals. Team of the week, player of the week. And the following weekend, we played El Paso in the Open Cup. And we ended up smacking them like 4-1. Fresno Fuego, El Paso, like crazy game. And that was, I think, the moment where I was like, yo, Fresno's like turning up, because we had probably the most fans we've ever had at a game before, bro. We packed up this high school football stadium, and it was it's a football stadium, bro. So I don't know how many people, but it was like maxed out, and it was for me like just surreal that I'm like, dang, I'm back in my hometown, starting in the Fuego colors. Like my mom's here, my grandmother's here, my nieces and nephews are here, and that alone, I think, like, is just a blessing, because there's so many players in this world that have never had that, where they're like playing in front of their fam, in front of their friends, people they grew up with. Like it was definitely one of the better feelings that I've had.
Yeah, mate, do you know what? All those things that you mentioned at the end there are things that you don't even think about. Like, you
You
think
don't.
you like, I mean, when the contract's coming around and you're doing preseason and this and that, you're only thinking about, doing your job and this and that. And obviously it starts well. But when you look up and like you said, and you see like your whole family there, your friends that you grew up with, probably people that you not necessarily friends with, but you've known of your whole life. You look
My
around
entire
and
life, yeah.
they're right there. Do you know what I mean?
Like,
That must be
Chaney,
a
like,
mad.
yo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, bro?
Exactly, but that must be a mad feeling, because like you, like at that point, like you did it. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of in your town, like you did it and you're repping your town. Like that
For
must be a
sure.
mad feeling.
For sure, man. And like I've done it before, right? Like at the professional level, I mean, at the higher level with the championship with Fresno, but it was like they changed the whole name, the colors. Like I grew up playing PDL, like, looking up to the Fuego. Like
Yeah,
in my Fresno, like in Fresno, it's the Fresno Fuego. That was the team. Like you wanted to play with. I was a ball boy for these kids, for these guys at one point. And when they took the name away, and I played in Fresno with it was actually called the Foxes at the time.
Okay.
It wasn't the same. I swear to you, it wasn't the same feeling that I had when I had Fuego on my chest. Like it's different. It was in Fresno. Don't get me wrong. It's in our same hometown we played, and the same people. Not as many, but the same people. But it just didn't feel the same without like Fuego. So like, I don't know. It's different.
Bro, one thing that's just come into my head that I didn't even think of before. Did you play away at Tormenta when you smacked us like 5-0 or something like that? When Bijev scored like a hat trick in the first half?
Bro, I have a funny story for that. I didn't play that game.
Oh my days.
I didn't play that game. That game was the start of my like demise with that coach, with the manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got smacked. Bijev
I know.
ripped
I
us
watched it.
apart. It was, oh my days. Dom, I don't know if you've ever seen Bijev play. I came across him first, right, when I was at SKC2 and he was at OKC. And I thought he was one of the best players in the champ. Like, of all the teams that we played, I thought 100% he was one of the best players in the champ. And then I saw that he signed for Fuego when I moved to Tormenta the next year. And in the scout, in the week, I'm telling you, like, the staff didn't even mention him. Like, they would say, like, this player, didn't even mention him. And I turned around to the gaffer and I said, I think we need to have a look at Bijev, like, because I'm serious. Like, if you let him go, like, he'll rip us apart on his own. And they're like, yeah, don't worry, we're aware of him. And I'm like, okay. So then I went and took upon myself to speak to, like, the right back, the centre half, and, like, our holding mid to say, like, listen, he's gonna operate in these areas. Like, I'm telling you, like, I know that they're kind of downplaying it, but he will rip us a new one. What happens, bro? He's got our defenders running into each other. He's like,
hey, the goal he scored that game. Oh my God, I gotta lie, bro. But he looks like he's unathletic, just doesn't play footy, bro. And he gets the ball, he just slaloming through players, bro. Like
silky player,
like smooth. Like he doesn't. You know, I know what's crazy, bro. I asked him one time, bro, and I don't care if you hear this, BJ. I don't care, Bill. Go ahead. He's like, I was like, bro, do you think about what you're doing? Like, because I watch him on the field. Like, I was like, well, I wouldn't start all the time. So I'm watching him. He plays left mid normally. I'm like, I don't think this guy even knows who's next to him right now. I asked him, he goes, bro, I've never once thought, oh, he has the ball, I should be here. Or, hey, what's my defender doing? So he literally just says that he just gets the ball and then just does what he feels. I'm like, dog, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know what's going on? Like, bro, what?
Maverick.
And this guy, I'm telling you, like, he's easily one of the best players I played with at the youth level for sure. Like, he signed with like Liverpool, played with like FC Dusseldorf, like, played all over the place. And then just says, yeah, I just want to live in Fresno now. Like, I just want to have a family. All right, I don't care about football no more. I'm like, jeez. Imagine being that
crazy good player.
Imagine being that good. Nah, he was a baller for sure.
You mentioned at the beginning, though, that game was the beginning of your demise with the coach. So I want to hear the story. What happened with the gaffer?
All right, so back before my contract even started, like before, so there is some drama going on in Fresno, right? So like we signed like 4 players. I was like the 4th player. They signed Bijev, this guy named Velarde, Diego, me. You know, like the local guys that they announced Fresno Fuego. So all those guys that signed, the guys that wrote our contracts and everything, like well, first off, the GM quit right away. The guy that like started it all, he's just like, I'm gonna go do something else. Sorry, not for me. So that's like, okay, whatever. Then our head coach, our head coach is a guy local from a college that we had there, very Fresno known, like has all his licensing, played in, you know, Mexico, whatever. I go to have a meeting with him before I sign my contract. Hey, coach, I mean, I know this isn't ideal, and I don't know what we have going on this weekend. So far on the calendar from the game schedule, we're going to have this weekend off. I have a trip to Cabo. You know, like I have a trip to Cabo. I'm going to Mexico with my family, you know, my grandmother, this and that. It's really my cousin's birthday.
Okay, I thought you just scheduled a lad's holiday for the one weekend.
No.
I was thinking, this guy's taking a piss.
No, but listen.
Yeah.
So then the coach gets fired. Or not fired, the coach quits. So then, and have in mind, this is in like June, but I said this in like February. So then, coach quits. We get a new coach, Milton Blanco. We went on like a little run. And then they bring in this new coach, Martin Vasquez, former FC Bayern assistant coach, RSL coach, you know, big name guy in coaching, played for the U.S. national team and the Mexican national team. Like, I think one of the only players to ever do so. So big name, you know, he's coming in as this thing. And as soon as I come in, we're playing Sac Republic. He comes in, first game, Sac Republic Open Cup. We had just won against El Paso, went to Charlotte, tied 3-3. Bijev scored an amazing goal, by the way. Crazy that game, too. And he ends up, like, I start the game. I played all 90 in Sac. They ended up scoring the pen at the end of the game. We lost. The next game, he doesn't play me. I come off the bench. I'm like, bro, I have like 4 goals in the last 4 games. Like, why am I not playing, you know? Didn't say anything of it. Okay, you're the manager, do your thing. Thought it was like a resting thing. Next game, I don't play. Next game, I don't play. I'm coming off the bench, creating, doing things. I'm like, okay. So then I approach him, hey, coach, like, what's going on? No, it's nothing against you. I'm just doing what's best for the team. And you give us something in the second half and starting the game this and that. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. So then training happens and I'm balling. I'm like, I have a little something on my shoulder. I'm like, no, hell no, I should be playing. Banging in goals left and right. And now I'm looking at him. I'm like, I only play the last 30, like, it's all right. Just give me 30. Just give me 30. Just give me 30, just like that. So now I'm angry. Now I've been a dickhead. You know what I mean? Like, it's like 7 games in now, 8 games in from his management where I'm starting, we're winning games, and now we're losing games or we're tying games. I'm subbing off and I'm scoring or we're down 1-0. We tied the game 1-1. Still, I'm subbing on, So then it's like 3 weeks before my trip, and I tell him, hey, coach, you remember that trip I told you about? When he first came, I had mentioned it to him. Remember that trip I told you about? He goes, Chaney, if you go to that trip, never play again. I was like, 2 months ago, I told you about it. You said you're going to honor the agreement that I had with the previous coaches. So, like, in my head, I paid for Airbnbs already. I'm going. And at the time, I was with my ex, my girl. So, like, we're going as a whole family type thing. And then he's like, you're right. I did say you could go. I'm not going to be upset. Have fun. Just make sure you let your team know that you're letting your team down.
What?
No.
Yeah. So then I go
I'm
to the
not
boys.
mad. I'm disappointed. That one
I
there,
go to
innit?
yeah, exactly. So I go to the team. And he's like, I think, coach, hold on, coach. You played me 8 minutes last night. What do you think? You played me 12 minutes the match before. I had to come in and save the team. You know what I mean? I had to come in when you gave me 12 minutes and we're tied. We're losing 2-1. And I come in and we tied 2-2. And you played me 8 minutes a game and the next game after that. So obviously my importance to you is not of that, And obviously, it's whether it's right or wrong, it happened. This is the story,
Yeah.
So then he said, it's okay, talk to the teammates, whatever. I told my team, they're like, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. So then I go and I'm watching the match. As soon as I land in Kabul, the match starts. So I'm on my phone streaming it. Bijev goal. I'm like, Bijev goal. Damn, Sharif goal. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? I'm like, bro, I'm not going against him, but I'm like, oh shit. If I didn't play before, I'm really not playing when I get back. So he held a grudge with me though, bro, for like the remainder of the season until, like, for instance, like Villyan, he got injured and then we started losing games that he didn't put me in the roster. He didn't put me in the roster the first 2 games back, 3 games back. He had this tournament. Oh dang. He had this tournament pretty much where he switched up teams every game. So we had like 5 games. And he switches up the team. So you're playing with this group, and then it switches, and it counts for individual wins and losses. And he looks at everybody. He goes, if you're the top caliber right here, then you're probably one of the starting 11 players or the players that deserves to play every minute, If you're like, in the middle, then maybe you have some work to do. But if you're at the bottom, you really got to look yourself in the mirror. And he stares me in the eyes and he says, this is the whole group. He looks at me. He goes, this is day 1 after Kabul. And I land in Kabul at 12 o'clock at night the day before. I'm in training at 8 a.m. the next day. So, it's Kabul. I was having a good time. I come back. I won every single game I played. I'm talking like scoring Rabona, scoring bicycle kicks, bangers, like working my ass off, bro, And it was me and the goalkeeper that won every game. Me and the goalkeeper was on my team most of the time. So after, like, he gives you a watermelon, and he's like cutting watermelons for everybody, and I get my own watermelon, right? So I wait for him to cut it, and he walks away, and I say, hey, profe, and he's yeah, profe, and I do like that. He looked, he goes, I say, are you not going to cut the winning watermelon? I say, are you not going to cut the winning watermelon, bro? Like this. And he looks, he goes, of course, I got you, Chaney, and he comes and he cuts it. And I'm right there eating, like, taking the piss, you know what I mean? Like, because he was pretty much,
God.
I was meant to,
You're
I was meant to
violating
lose.
him. You're violating him.
No, I was meant to lose every game. No, you should have seen that. Nah, no disrespect, but when a coach doesn't want you to win, bro. When a coach doesn't want you to win. You know
Of course,
what I mean?
yeah. We've all been there. We've all been there.
Oh, bro, and I shut, and from that one on, I didn't. I was unrostered the next 3 matches. Unrostered, not even the 18, like unrostered, bro. From that moment on, and that's when I was like, yeah, I can't be in Fuego no more. It's time for me to go.
Damn.
Nah, it was
Damn.
insane, bro.
Where do you get that, like, for want of a better word, some people would say chip on your shoulder, but I think maybe just like real confidence in yourself. Where do you get that from? Where does that come from? Does that come from like something in your childhood, your upbringing? Have you always been like that from a kid? Like, what is it like has that energy to you?
Damn. You want me to get real right now? Let me show you.
Yeah. Keep it
When
real.
I was younger, bro, like I had like a lot of people, like a lot of players, bro. I didn't have the best upbringing, you know. I didn't have a lot in my life, you know, and I didn't like have this confidence, you know. I wasn't always just composed, you know. I didn't carry myself as the way I do now because I didn't have shit, you know. So I was always, you know, living off my friend. Hey, can you give me a ride here? Can you do this? You know, like relying on others to kind of like help me get through and stuff. So I didn't have the confidence in myself that I have now. It took a lot for me to grow that because of the work that I put in and the things that I've earned. You know, like I've never been given, you know, I've always earned everything in my life. And for a long time, I was quiet, you know, I was just taking what was given to me. You know, people would talk shit. I would be like, oh, fuck, all right, you know. You know what I mean? I had to just do what I had to do to get by. Didn't want to step on toes. Didn't want to, you know, because I needed to survive. So when I finally was at an age or at a place where I started becoming aware of like my talents or, you know, just my work ethic, like what set me aside from everybody else, I started getting my confidence. You know what I mean? I didn't have the best clothes. You know, I didn't have most money. You know what I mean? But I knew how to work my ass off. You know, I knew how to speak to people because for all the times I was quiet, I'm looking, I'm learning, I'm watching. So I'm really good at my words now, you know? So these are things that I'm picking up from a young age to where now I'm like, for instance, what you're saying, how do I get that confidence in that situation? I have the least amount of minutes in the entire USL, not just League One championship as well, per goal, per assist ratio. I was averaging a goal every like 7 minutes. You know what I mean? The guy only played like 15 minutes a match, you know, or an assist, something.
Yeah.
So I had a goal contribution every like 15 minutes I was on the pitch.
Yeah.
So in that situation, it came from the fact that I deservingly should have been playing on the field, especially at this level where I'm producing every time, if not every other time I'm on the pitch, you know? And like I said,
it's not just in your head, it's the numbers there as well.
it's exactly it. I understand if I'm like this delusional guy that's not doing anything at all, talking shit in the locker room, like I'm not doing anything to prove it, you know? But to all the kids watching, don't follow that. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. You know what I mean? There's other ways to go about it.
I've actually got a follow-up question. Like from like just doing a bit of research and talking to Jam, I think that you have a little bit of a reputation in the USL.
Yeah.
Do you think you're misunderstood? Like, do you think people don't, because they don't know you and you come off a certain way, do you think you're misunderstood?
I think I'm misunderstood until they see me off the pitch, or until you talk to me off the pitch or before the match. Because on the pitch, I'm sorry, I'm an asshole. I don't like you. You know what I mean? As Kim, I'm killing his, pinching his skin and kicking him and grabbing him and throwing him, like, and I know the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it is what it is. I'm talking shit to everybody. It don't matter. If you hit me, I'm gonna hit you harder. You get my boy, I got you. Don't worry. That's just the player I am. That's how I grew up. But boy, you talking me off the field, bro. Like, I'm a lover. I'm a loving guy. You know, I like to have good relationships, good friendships. I like to connect with people. I like to read people's thoughts and get to know who you are. That's just who I am. So I think a lot. I mean, I guess you could use misunderstood, or just like me. People just don't care enough, you know. But it doesn't matter. You don't got to get to know me. Just if you want to know me, I'm right here. You know what I mean? If not, you're just gonna get what you get on the field. But definitely misunderstood. I think a lot of coaches can speak on that as well.
Yeah, mate. And just to kind of extend off of that, I think I've definitely had that direct experience with you this year because I played against you a few times before, and I wouldn't say I've ever had a negative perception of you, but just you know, like I said, I used the word handful. We got a guess there.
Say hi. Sorry, lads.
No, you're right. No, where was I? No, I used the word handful. That was kind of the kind of phrase thrown around, and I don't think it's a positive or a negative thing. It's just kind of a generalization. But this year, and I don't know if you remember the game, but it was the first time we played against you lot at our place at CHI in Chattanooga, and you looked down. It was like late on,
Your
like
boots.
80th minute. You looked down at my boots, yeah. Looked down at my boots, and you was like, "Yo, they're cold. Where'd you get them from?" Like, in the middle of the game, And then me and him are just talking. I'm trying to tell him where I got my boots from. He's like linking me his IG so I can go send him off the pitch. I give him we kind of exchanged that right after the game, 5 minutes after. Yo, Jam, where's good tonight? Where we going for drinks? This and that. Next thing you know, like me and him were just sat across, and it was nice. I remember that night. It was like 8 or 9 of the Madison boys, and probably like 7, 8, 9 of the chat boys. And that was the first time where I actually saw for the first time like Chaney off the pitch, and he like he's I mean, not that he would lie about himself, but he's 100% right. Like they're two completely different people, Like, and it's funny that he says, you know, he'll bat for his brother, he'll do this, do that, mate. One of the funniest things that I saw this season, and I can't remember what moment it was. Which game, because we played against each other 4 times this season, but it was one of the games at your place, and I can't remember who had the ball. But first off, it was the game where we were just sitting in, just trying to get a point. In the league late on, you scored the pen to win it.
Yeah.
At last minute, but in the first half, you literally didn't touch the ball like at all, and I can't remember who had it. Well, one of your boys got it from you. I'm talking, are you fucking blind? Pass me the fucking ball. I will bully these fucking kids. Give me the fucking ball now.
Oh my God.
Bro, I lost it. I'm on the other team. I lost it. I'm trying to defend the corner. I'm losing it.
Bro, I think I looked at Jamil. I was like, bro, I haven't fucking touched the ball in like 30 fucking minutes. I was like, 30 fucking minutes. You fucked up giving me the ball. Look at your center backs. I was like, you think they're going to take the fucking ball from me? And they're right there. They're fucking they're 3 steps away from me, bro. Like, nah, bro. I'm sorry. I lost it. And then I scored the goal, and I was like, thank God I didn't fucking miss this pen, because I look like a dickhead, bro. Oh, bro.
Oh, man, that's funny,
but that's my
man.
personality, though, bro. I went up to him after the game, and I gave him a hug, and I was like, see? See? You know? Like, nah, but that's all love, bro. That's also what I think the game is missing, bro. Like, if you're gonna fuck someone off, bro, just understand that you gotta give them some good words after, dog. You gotta be able to take it too, you know?
For sure.
And I've always said that with my teammates,
yourself.
bro.
Yeah.
I've always said that, bro. Like, if I'm fucking being a dickhead, or if I'm not doing this or doing that, you give it to me, okay, I'll take it. Don't get me wrong. But like, that's just how it is. After the game, job done, you know, we're good, we're boys, let's go for a drink, let's kick it, you know, whatever.
Exactly.
I don't like taking things on the pitch, off the pitch, and that's where I think certain locker rooms nowadays tend to explode. You know what I mean? Because people can't just leave it. It's too prideful nowadays.
Agreed. And
actually, know who it is? It was Wolfgang Prentice too, and I love that kid, bro. I love him. He didn't deserve it.
Oh, bless him. Well, shout out Wolfie, man. He's is he gone back from his loan?
Yeah, he's back at Oakland. I'm pretty sure. I don't know exactly like to the extent of his contract, but I mean, I would expect they keep the kid. He's on like, you know, like 6 this year. It's decent, you know. So,
all right.
some clutch goals.
Yeah, love that. Ah, mate, that's good. We've pulled a lot out of you there, but I think it's time that I pass over to Mr. Okus over there, who's going to take us into our final segment of the Backstick podcast. So, Mr. Okus, take Christian Chaney through extra time.
So I think our listeners will be familiar with this section, but Christian, I know obviously you've never been on this podcast before. You probably haven't had the opportunity to watch an episode, but like Jam said, this is what we call the extra time. Now I'm your host, and what they've been saying on, like, you know, the socials and stuff, they've been calling me Steve Harvey with a skin fade. So I'm the host with the most right now. His face. That's what they've been calling me. So
I can see it.
I'm gonna take you.
For all of you lot not watching on YouTube, go and watch that clip and see his face.
That's brilliant.
Keep going.
Absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to take you to 4 questions. The first question: who is the best player you played with?
Hey, hold on. Get down. Sorry, the cat's doing stuff it shouldn't do.
Perfect. We're keeping all this in.
Damn, I tell you, it's like a mountain lion, bro. It's cat's a bobcat. Jesus. Hey. Oh. All right, we back. All right, the best player that I've ever played with. So let me see. It's gonna be between obviously Carlton Cole. He's at the end of his career though, you know, like I never got to play a match with Drogba, so I couldn't play with Drogba. That can't be one. Juan Pablo Capa. Do you know who Juan Capa is? Real Betis, played in La Liga, played at Boca Juniors.
Oh, yeah.
He played at Costa Rica Nets before. He was with me in Fresno. Argentina. Oh, bro. This man was such a baller. Like, his left foot was amazing. But, I mean, I would say between Capa and Carlton Cole, man. Those are two big players, real big players.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. High level.
Yeah, never played in, you know, I never played with you guys over across the pond, bro. So I can't really, you know, I never played with Keziah Sterling, bro. So I would have said him, you know.
Big up, Kez.
Big up, Kaz. Friend of the pod.
Yeah,
100%. Exactly. Yeah, between them two, man, for sure. But Coley was like someone I was close to as well, so maybe it's a little bit more personal there.
For sure. No, for sure. Carlton Cole was a good player. Obviously, as a West Ham fan, seeing him every week. Like, he had a good career. He was a good player. Like you say, hold up, man. Decent eye for goal. Couple England caps. Like, he's a good player.
Yeah, some England caps, you know. Good. All right, what's next?
Right. Who is the best player you've played against?
I mean, I played against Raul when it was in Cosmos.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was at Cosmos though. You know what I mean? Like that's like.
But still,
but,
it's Raul,
nasty.
Mate.
Raul,
it could have been in Sunday League, and it would have still held
literally.
the same weight.
This is for real. This is actually how I got my contract to Armenia too against him. I was like 17, 18 years old. It's crazy. But
wow.
Yeah, I was playing against him, and I don't know if you guys know Jamal Johnson. JJ.
Yeah.
Played at MK Dons. Played with me in Fresno as well.
Centre mid.
Yeah,
like a winger, bro. The most two-footed player I've ever met in my life. Like the most two-footed player. He took pens with both feet.
Wow.
No, in matches. Like you wouldn't know what he'd shoot with. It was insane. Mr. Top 10. Like he was on my team too. But like when I played against him as well, he was playing with Raul. They were on the same Cosmos team together. So I'd probably say him. I mean, easily.
Wow. Raul, you know, what was he like? Was he still like decent? Like, I bet his movement was just a joke.
He just needed the ball. Like he just needed the ball. Everything else, like, he didn't have to move or run. It was one of those where like he'll turn this way and the ball will come this way. Like, you know, he'll touch it there, then he'll like do it. It's just silky. Everything was just, you know, like he just playing. Just give him the football. You're not gonna press. You're not gonna press him because he'll just move it the other way. You can't press him. He's one of those guys where it's like you kind of just got to show him one way and hope he passes it. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, that's one of the best strikers of all time,
bro.
100%.
Easily. He
100%.
was so nasty. So I wish I would have like had the chance to play him when he was like trying. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
because what is he like?
I have a similar one with Higuain, mate. I played him in his last season as a pro.
Oh, did you? I didn't even know that.
And he just didn't. He was so bobbed. He did not care. He walked around the pitch.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like similar, like one of the best strikers of the generation. But I just, you know, and obviously I'm honoured that I shared the pitch with him. However, he just wasn't trying anymore. Do you know what I mean? I would have loved to have seen like them at their pulp.
100%. No, 100%. Right, we'll keep going because I think you're gonna like this question. If we had to pick 3 teammates, past or present, to go on a night out with, who would they be and why?
Told you, my boy. It's always harder in the moment.
And why?
And why? Yeah. We gotta know why. Why.
Wait, we gotta know which flavors are coming on the night out.
Damn. I don't want to burn nobody here either. Well, I'm gonna give my first one. My first one is Coley Boy, bro. Carlton by far.
Yeah,
by
yeah, yeah.
far. Our time in sack, yeah, he was a good one. He was a good one. So that's off the bat, yeah, him. Who do I have on my team this year? Nah, nobody from this team. I mean, there's like on a night out, like where I want a night out, like Mitch
Yeah,
Osman
man.
is my boy, but like he's an Aussie, you know what I mean? A night out to him, he's a married man, 2 kids, so it's a different night out.
It's
So
different.
I'm not
It's
gonna
different.
Okay.
put him in that category, but if we're like a bar hop, like we're drinking all day, or we're going to a camp or a campfire, drinking, like that's him, that's the guy. But
Alright.
on a night out, I can't. I just got to give my boys props. He's my boy Mitch Osman,
Salute.
Skip,
Salute.
Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of good things about him as well.
What a guy, what a guy. Bro, I'm gonna say Danny Barrera. I don't know if you guys know him. People in the chat know who Danny Barrera is. I'm gonna say
Is
back
he
in the day,
was he at
he
Hartford for a bit? Is it that
he is
guy?
at Hartford right now. Yeah,
He's still at Hartford? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he was at Republic with me, and then he was at Fresno with me. But hopefully he doesn't hear this. But he's like I said, now he's married with children, and But hey, Danny Barrera for one. He was
Say
part of
no
that.
more.
He
Say
was
no
he
more.
was with
Say
me.
no more.
He was with me and Coley at SAC as well. So
Yeah, say
Yeah,
say
yeah.
less. Say less. There you go.
And then he's a coach in the league now. Can't say him. Nah.
Nah, say it, man. Say it.
Nah,
Say it.
nah.
There's
Saying
a-
that. We got 10 minutes after. I'll talk to you 10 minutes after this.
Alright.
The third one. Who would it be? I can't go into too many details.
Just need the
Unless
name.
you want to.
You know what? There was a guy. He's Scotland. He's Scottish. His name is Alex Cooper. He was a
Okay.
left back, much like you. Crazy whip on the ball. But guy loved the night out.
Menace,
Sick.
yeah.
He was always one that you could rely on.
Sick.
It could be a Tuesday night. Training on Wednesday morning. Oh,
Reliable.
yeah, for sure. Oh, reliable. But I like to think I'm pretty reliable too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Wait,
But
so
no,
what was
yeah.
the three? So what, you got Carlton Cole, Danny Barrera.
Danny Barrera, Alex Cooper, Big Coop.
All right. Shout out the boys.
Same.
That's Chaney's squad right there.
That's my
There
squad.
we
That's
go.
my squad. I'm
There
not
we go.
sure. Yeah, they'd all mix well. We don't mix well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Six.
I don't know. I haven't gone out with jams yet, bro. So
Yeah.
Not a proper one. We just had a couple beers, my boy, but
Yeah.
that we can cue that one up in the calendar.
that's
Exactly.
That's cute.
Last but not least, what is your biggest achievement on the pitch today?
Let's see. It could be. You know what? Nah, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say something that I'm actually proud of. Not the biggest. It's a side note. Is that I've scored every penalty kick I've taken at the Ford Madison, like in the Ford Madison kick, every PK, like every single one. And I didn't realize that until someone told me that like 2 days ago. They were like, you're the only one that scored every PK he's taken. And I was like, oh, which is pretty dope. But
Fire.
aside from that, I'm gonna
that's
say
good, man.
more for like
That's
an
nice.
emotional thing, not like a winning thing, but like for like one for the heart is like playing in front of my late grandfather and my grandmother. Like I got to go back home and play. It wasn't the Fresno Foxes jersey, but he got to sit in the stands and watch me play as a professional footballer. You know what I mean? And he didn't like for like playing professional sports wasn't a job growing up. Where he in his era. So like when I was able to do that, and he realized the people that were screaming my name, that were buying my jerseys, and he seen me score, so he seen me doing backflips. And when I was younger, I didn't speak the language. I didn't speak Spanish. You know what I mean? And he's a Mexican guy, very old Mexican, old school, barely spoke English. And I went to Mexico and came back, and I was speaking Spanish. So then after my game, I finally was able to have a conversation with him in his language, like a free flowing conversation with him about the game, about how proud he was of me playing the game and this and that, bro. That like just to me, that was like all right, at least I got to have, he got to see me doing what he never thought anybody in his family was going to be able to do. So that's a big moment for me.
Amazing, bro. Amazing. And don't downplay becoming a professional footballer, right? So I think you both are professional footballers. And so maybe you take it for granted, but I'm not. And since I was 5 years old, all I ever wanted to do was be a professional footballer. And I think that's a lot of kids all over the world that want to be a professional footballer. Regardless of the level, you lot are the top small percentage of people that made it. And so the fact that your family even got to sit down and watch you in the stands and watch you play is a blessing, bro. So you shouldn't downplay that, and you should be super proud of it, like you said.
Facts. But that,
Yeah,
for
man.
me, that's like one of my big moments. I mean, you have players that are like, oh, winning my first game in Champions League, winning the Europa League. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna just choose this one.
Yeah, man.
But
Yeah, sick, man.
that's what it is.
As long as it means what it means to you, my boy, that's it.
Exactly. I
100%.
want
That's
Anissa
what the
Golden
question
Boot
is.
and Nisa. You know what I mean? Shout out Nisa, baby.
There you go.
You need a lifeline. Go to Nisa. Tell you.
Sick. Well, I've been your host with the most. That's extra time. And I'm going to pass you back to my boy Jam to close us out.
Appreciate it, mate. And that was a good addition. That was a mixture. That was a mixture of humor in there. That was a mixture of real as well from the heart. So, and I think that kind of sums up the whole episode, really, because I've really enjoyed this one. And just to kind of sum it all up there, from myself and from Dom, Christian, we've really enjoyed this one. This has been a fun one. I had no doubt that it was going to be before, we set it up and we got on the mic, but I knew it was going to be a good one, and this lived up to it, mate. I'm sure a lot of people out there are going to enjoy this one. So from us, thank you for coming on, mate.
Appreciate you, bro. Brothers. Hell yeah, appreciate it. If there's ever another time where you need to squeeze someone in, just give me a shout.
Hey,
yes,
hey,
bro.
You're hosting the Dom Okus episode. Remember that?
I'll host it. I'll come with some heat. I'll tell you.
Love it. But anyway,
boys. Appreciate it.
Nah. Anytime, my boy. Anytime. We just appreciate you having you here. But it's about that time where, I say, if you've made it this far, thank you ever so much for listening. Head over to YouTube, head over to all the socials at the Backstick Pod, like, subscribe, comment, let us know in the DMs, in the comments who you want to hear from next. Hit up Chaney on Instagram, on Twitter, on all of them. Follow him, blow him up. We're gonna get all these clips to you soon, so you're gonna see it. Obviously, as always, you can watch and listen to every episode of the Backstick Podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your pods. Head over there and we will be there. You will find us. Okay. But without further ado, from myself, from Mr. Okus and Mr. Chaney, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.